Hey guys, welcome to the Last Dynasty Presents Nerd Outbreak Episode 2. Today, it's me, Trey, aka Ronoth, and Dan, aka Tran. Um,
Hello.
Today, for those of you who don't know, we're completely new to this. We're going to try to come up with a basic structure for the podcast slash video cast. Um, it's probably going to be Dan and I hosting from now on. And then when Tim can make it, it'll be Tim. Um, but today we're going to go ahead and start with some pretty big news that was released yesterday. For those of you that don't know, yesterday was
Yeah.
N7 Day. Uh, Basically, the same thing as May 4th for Star Wars. And dude, they announced a remaster of Mass Effect Trilogy.
Dude, I am so stoked for that. So stoked for that. Holy crap.
Yeah, all the DLC plus all the promotional items slash pre-order items from back when they released, what, 13 years ago? I think
Yeah,
was the
all
first
the
one.
pre-order stuff.
Yeah, dude, I'm stoked. PS4, Xbox One, I believe PC. Yeah.
Yeah, all three. I think they're also going to be on the new next generation as well, eventually.
Eh, I believe the way I worded it, they're not going to have dedicated versions for those, but they will play forward, if that makes sense. So I think the PS4 version you can put in your PS5, it'll be enhanced. I don't believe they're actually coming out with a PS5 version.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't aware of that part then.
Hey, don't quote me. I don't do research for this here video game podcast.
Right.
They did also announce that they were working on a new Mass Effect project. So, those of you who can't tell, I do like Andromeda. So, an Andromeda 2 would be okay. I mean,
Did Andromeda end on a cliffhanger? I never actually finished the whole game.
you know, I'll be honest, I
Spoiler
love
alert.
it. I've only played it once. I don't freaking remember. I'm
True that.
currently on my second playthrough. But I mean, it'll be interesting to see what they do. It'll be hard for them to do a Mass Effect 4 following the trilogy, because Mass Effect 3 kind of ended in such a weird way that following Shepard's story, in my opinion, is going to be hard. I mean, if possible at all.
They could. I know it's not really like Bioware to do that, but do you think they could do like a standalone thing with like maybe Anderson or something?
Dude, I think a prequel to the first one would be amazing. Going over, maybe a game set during the First Contact Wars.
That would
It,
be cool.
it may not be as interesting just because the humans, obviously, at that point, again, for those of you who aren't interested in Mass Effect, are not going to follow along. But during the First Contact War, the humans didn't have too much technology. I think they were just. I, I believe the First Contact War started as the humans were trying to power up a dormant relay. So I think they were just getting into space travel. So it may be a bit difficult gameplay wise to do that, but story wise would be amazing.
Yeah, that would be pretty interesting. I think something about a relay. Yeah, that makes sense.
But
That
let's
sounds familiar.
let's be honest. BioWare, just make the game everybody wants. Just let us
Just make
play as
things.
Garrus.
Garrus is love. Garrus is life, right?
I mean, just give us our space boyfriend that we all want.
Hey, you said it, not me.
Hey, he's an amazing character. There's a lot to build off of with the Turians, though. I almost called them Taurans. Ooh, thinking about WoW,
Yeah. Speaking of which, that is our next subject, though.
that is. Let's just kind of get into, what have you been playing lately? I would assume, if anybody knows you, it's probably WoW or ESO. But have you been playing anything else? What have you been doing on WoW? Anything?
Honestly, just switching up between retail and classic and playing a little bit of ESO. I've been enjoying Greymoor. Honestly, it's not a bad content.
I've never played any of ESO except for vanilla, and shame on me for that. But what I did play, man, it's a good game for being a free MMO. I mean, obviously they got some gotcha mechanics in there. They want you to spend money, but the free, I mean,
Yeah.
it's really not bad being free either.
Well, you got to make that initial payment, but yeah, there is
Well, yeah.
no subscription fee to it. But yeah, I mean, it has some of the most beautiful scenery, some of the most well put together written quests, and probably any MMO that's ever come out. Well, I don't know about Final Fantasy. I've heard Final Fantasy has some really good content in it.
From what I've played, Final Fantasy was very good. It is gorgeous. It looks like an up-resed WoW. I mean, graphics wise, it makes WoW look awful.
Really,
Story from what I played was okay, but I heard vanilla Final Fantasy wasn't very strong, whereas some of the later expansions were just amazing.
right? Okay, yeah, I've been needing to get into the Final Fantasy MMO. I've been everybody in the community's been pretty much recommending it.
It's good. It when I played it, it felt exactly like WoW. I mean, the controls felt like WoW. It felt like you were playing WoW with different cosmetics.
Oh, okay. Like the whole Final Fantasy feel, but
Yeah, the whole anime feel. Yeah, we'll just say it.
Weeb alert.
um, just touching back on the ESO thing. Uh, we'll announce it again at the end, but we will be starting a series of podcasts next week, going over the Elder Scrolls series as a whole. We'll be starting with the first one all the way up to ESO. We're gonna kind of just talk about the release, the story that was in the first one, second one, so on and so forth. So any of you that don't know the Elder Scrolls series and have always been a little intimidated to jump into ESO, not knowing anything about it, maybe this will help you, especially as the Last Dynasty kind of moves into ESO and tries to make a footprint there. This will just help you give you a backstory to it, the lore, some of the gameplay, how the mechanics were.
I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, no doubt. I have been, as I'm a Mass Effect nerd, I have been playing the original Mass Effect as of yesterday. I was about halfway through it. I plan on doing a series of podcasts about that, so I won't spoil anything now. But I did decide to stop playing it because, I mean, the remaster's coming, so why not play in HD and 4K? So I went back to Andromeda, give myself a feel for the Mass Effect universe because Andromeda it does take place not in the Milky Way with Shepard, but a lot of the races are still there. So I'm enjoying it. It's definitely not the strongest game, but if you are interested in Mass Effect and haven't played any of them, I recommend picking up Andromeda. It's super cheap. Play it till the remaster comes out. Because again, who doesn't want to see Shepard or let's be honest, Miranda in HD 4K?
No comment.
I mean, man, I know some people.
So, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about Nerd Outbreak a little bit. Tim's little project that you know about. Maybe get the community a little bit of insight about that.
Yeah, definitely. Uh, if anybody gets time or interested, check out Nerd Outbreak in Facebook. I'll make sure to link it in Discord and the comments on our YouTube page. It's something Tim obviously is not here with us today, but Tim Rose and he started, and it's kind of your all around basic video game podcast. He hasn't been doing a whole lot of content right now, but he's got a lot of older stuff. He's got some play alongs. He does a lot of reviews. He's been doing a lot of Nintendo 64 game reviews. A little outdated, but those of you who have heard about a lot of these older games and haven't played, it's worth at least checking out. He's also working on doing a review for every new episode of The Mandalorian the week it comes out. We had talked about maybe doing one later this coming week for last episode. So if you're interested in The Mandalorian or other people's reviews of The Mandalorian, check it out. It's a fantastic show. He does a really good job reviewing it, but he does a lot of, your news. We are the plan when he has time is we're trying to bring the two together, the Last Dynasty and the Nerd Outbreak. Push both names. We're a good group of people
Exciting stuff.
playing stuff, news as in Mass Effect. We have the consoles coming up. I'm sure we'll do some review videos on there. Just remember, we are also full-time employees, so if we are a little lacking on content, just hit Tran or I up, or the Nerd Outbreak or Last Dynasty page. Uh,
Yeah, we
yeah,
usually can reply really quick. We get on the ball on that.
yeah. May not be on my computer a lot, but let me tell you, just like everybody else, I got my phone right in my pocket.
Right on, right on. So, those of
Well,
you that aren't, oh, I'm sorry, what?
before we get much further with the Last Dynasty, why don't you maybe, not that people in the community don't know you, but just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, for those that don't know, I am the owner and CEO of the Last Dynasty. Have been for the past 6 years since I was a teenager.
Man,
Still,
has it been 6 years already?
yeah, dude,
Jesus.
6 years, man. I think I was still in high school when I took over the guild.
I think I had been out just a little bit. Anyways, yeah.
But got some big plans for the guild and for the community as a whole going forward. So,
Yeah. Gail asked a good question. You got any kids? How old are you?
children, I think she's calling us children.
Either way, we're going to say it's a question.
Well, I'm 25, so I'm pretty much a child.
Hmm. Well, sorry, Gail. 25. You live in the States, yeah?
Yeah, I'm live in Florida, Daytona Beach, Central Florida, to be exact. But what about yourself? Why don't you tell everyone a little about yourself?
Uh, uh, According to Gail, also a child. 28, I think. Yeah. 28, one kid. She's going on two. Keeps me awfully busy, but I'm up here in Indiana and it's starting to get pretty cold.
What's
But
the weather
I
like?
think I've been with the guild at least 5 years. I think I joined not long after you took over.
You joined, yeah, a little bit after I took over. I think, yeah, your ex-wife was part of the guild before you were.
Yes,
So,
I was raiding with the Ukandukers. I don't even know if they're a
you
guild
can do,
still.
you can do, man. That's funny.
Yeah. Well, let's we'll get into it. For those of you tuned in that are part of the community, we will be going over some history of the guild when Tran took it over, when I joined, how the rating started, and where we're going from here. Tran's plans of where we're going from here in the guild as well as the community as a whole. So, those of you not in the community, and you're not interested in this, you may not want to watch much more of this. But there's a lot of interesting stuff that happened in this guild, and it went from a very small guild that didn't even have a raid team to what it is now, where there's even talks of a second raid team and a PvP team. It has very much went through its up and downs in the past 6 years, but it's completely and utterly on the uptrend. And that's thanks to Tran and all the other people helping push things forward. So from here, we're kind of going to interview Tran. Uh, it, if you want to know more about him and Florida, this is your time.
Oh God.
But before we get into that, Tran does have some other stuff planned for this, but Tuesday is Veterans Day. So we do want to at least throw a shout out to all the veterans in the guild, in the community, and anybody just watching. Thank you for your service and thank you for everything you've done for the country and our freedom.
Definitely. Thank you very much, y'all.
Okay, now that we have all that, let's pick up to who started the guild. I believe it was Lixion, yes?
Yeah, Lexion, and I don't even know who the hell else was with him when he signed it, but when they signed the charter. But yeah, I joined like 5 months after it was a guild. So it was Lexion who was the GM, and then a couple people here and there. Um, but yeah, that's who I took it over from was Lexion, and it was I think maybe 20 people in the guild. I actually just started a character, and he actually just picked me up from one of those stupid add-ons that randomly invite people. I think I've picked up my fair share of guild mates with the same thing.
So you had just started playing the game when he picked you up.
I just started. I just came back to the game from like a
Okay.
long break. Yeah, I was just making a new character. I just came to Thrall too, the server Thrall, which great server. No one here plays on it. Y'all should.
Absolutely.
But uh, I think it was the Death Knight starting area. I was making a Death Knight when I joined, and then immediately just got involved in what little community we had. We had a Ventrilo server. Yeah,
Oh yeah, Vent.
we had a vent.
Man, I remember Vent.
So we would just hang out and vent, and that was pretty much all it was when we first started. Like out of 20 people, there was maybe like 5 or 6 of us that were active.
Oh wow. So it was definitely not very big.
No, not at all. It was extremely small.
Were they doing? Clearly with only 5 or 6 people, they weren't raiding. They weren't
No,
PvPing. They weren't holding contests or anything to get any activity.
no, there was literally nothing. Just what we were doing in voice chat and the little bit of Warlords of Draenor dungeons that we were running. That was honestly it.
Man, that must have been the very beginning of WAD then, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was somewhere near the start. Actually, I think 6 or 7.1, whatever Warlords of Draenor was. 6.1 was around the time I started because BlackRock Foundry just came out.
Oh, BRF, huh? Okay. Well, then it wouldn't have been very organized. If those of you don't know him, Lixion is still pretty active on the Facebook page. If anybody wants to hear any more about it when he had it. Uh, so when exactly did he give you the guild and how did that situation come about?
So the guild eventually started getting bigger. I started inviting more and more people. Some of my friends started playing, et cetera, et cetera. Eventually, we got to a point where we wanted to start raiding. We wanted to start running content, but Lexion just stopped really being active. I can't blame him. He had just had a kid, got a new job,
I understand that.
all that type of stuff. So couldn't really blame him for not being active, but can't really have a successful guild with the GM that's not exactly active. And at this point, he already made me the co-GM, so but I still only had limited stuff I could really do. So it did come to a point where everybody that wanted to raid and be active, we had to come up to them and just straight up tell them like, man, we can't, be in a guild that doesn't have a GM. So it was like we have to either leave or you have to pass GM to somebody.
Yeah.
One thing led to another. He gave me GM, and now we're here.
Well, that's an understatement because we've clearly gone through some stages since then.
Yeah.
So when you took over, if I recall, you had. Oh man, I can't say it without laughing. You had a character, a person named Volva raid leading.
Oh God. Yeah, he was our raid leader. His form of raid leading was how bad can we troll the group and get away with it?
Yeah.
So it was pretty much literally no content was being completed. We weren't getting anything done. It was just a huge mess. Um, Gail says, "Oh boy,"
Yeah.
she
I'm
remembers.
sure Gail remembers him.
But honestly, getting rid of him was the best thing that I ever did.
Yeah. He so I think I started in the guild about that time. So what, 2 patches after you took over. It wasn't very long after you took over. And when I came in, I think it was, man, what raid was it that we were just starting?
We were still doing BlackRock Foundry.
Oh, were we?
Yeah.
Did I come in? Okay, I didn't. I'm glad you remember when I joined the guild because I don't.
I still
uh,
remember that.
yeah. So he was raid leading. I think I was playing my Frost DK. Came in. I think I raided with him maybe once, twice. And I don't remember the exacts. You may do, but and we don't have to get into the exacts. This is more of a knowledge, not drama. But there was definitely some drama around him and man, I can't even think of the other guy that was with him. Long story short, they left. We were out of raid leader, so you made a new raid leader. Again, I'm blanking on his name.
No.
I think I still have him as a friend on Facebook. I
Yeah,
know.
yeah, the guy from Ireland.
Yes, Rat. Yeah. Anyways, he raid led, I believe, one raid. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all he could do.
And super nice guy for those of you who have raided before in pugs or new raid teams. You probably have been in this situation with a raid leader who is very nice, uh, completely knowledgeable person, terrible raid leader. Just, just
Yeah,
couldn't that Raz. Thank you,
a
Gail.
little bit.
Just we couldn't get any bosses down. He was not an assertive person. And I remember that time because I messaged you and said, "Hey man, I'm gonna have to step out. It's not working." Push comes to shove. Next thing I know, I'm raid leading.
I honestly, I think it was something like, all right, dude, you want to do it, just do it yourself then, and then you did it.
I believe that's what it was. It came down to, well, if you're going to complain about him, we don't have anybody else. So if you don't like it, you do it. So I did it. Uh,
And then we completed Amtris. Not Amtris, that's the Legion. We completed HFC.
yes. Yeah. So from there, I set together putting. I set to putting together. Jesus can't talk. An actual raid team. We had an incredible raid team. We did clear HFC, cleared it on heroic as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, okay. So we cleared it on heroic, and then we had the team to do mythic. For those of you who don't play WoW but know a little bit about raiding, mythic is extremely hardcore, or it was. I'm not sure how it is now. I have not raided in a while, and
Still
it
is.
took a lot of time, a lot of effort, and that's when Tran and I decided, hey, let's just stick to a heroic group. We we were at the time trying to expand the guild a little bit, not like we are these days. But we did a lot of raiding. We had a very competitive heroic team. We had a lot of good players. Some of them are still playing with us. Gale slash Lahira, the kid slash what's her name, Kura or something. I don't even know anymore. Uh,
Yeah.
but we had a very good team. From there, we moved into Legion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we moved into Legion for Emerald Nightmare, and we were clearing that on normal, starting heroic. And I believe this is about the time that you had to take a nice long break for real life stuff.
A very long break.
I believe for those of you who are interested or weren't here, I think, man, my memory's shot. When did we move to Alliance? Was that
We moved
Legion?
to Alliance pre Legion, yeah. Right before Legion came out, we moved to Alliance, and then
You're
we were
right.
going to break Alliance for a while.
So we raided Emerald Nightmare on Alliance.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yes, we did move to Alliance on Storm Rage.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. I was reading Gail's comment. She's absolutely right. She's older than us and has a better memory. Um, so we raided over on Storm Rage as Alliance for a while, and then this is where you took your real life break.
Yeah, I think we were doing Nighthold when I took my break.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, and then y'all finished Nighthold, and then y'all got Gul'dan down without me. That was awesome. And then I think
Mm.
shortly after Nighthold was when everybody pretty much stopped playing on the Alliance, went back to Horde, and that guild died. But the other guild, the main guild on Horde, also died.
Yes. So before Tran left, you had made me co-GM.
Yeah.
Um, so as co-GM when Tran left, stepped down, did whatever you needed to do in real life. I took over. Um, some people call me not very nice, but we made it. We continued to raid. Uh, it sucked not having you there. But yeah, we did get gold and down without having to yell at a mage to get out of the fire. So,
Good
win
old days.
win. um,
It's
yes,
just it's just crazy how big how much we have exploded since then. Because man,
I think we had what 3, 4 officers.
we had 3, 4 officers, then
Yeah,
maybe 100 people. Now we're looking at 1,000 people.
yeah. No, holy cow. We will definitely touch on that. Uh, but when Tran left, we did clear Nighthold, and I think about this time we decided, hey, Alliance wasn't working. Everybody that was raiding was Hordes. We all played Horde for years. It was just an experiment. Let's try it. A lot of people had never even tried Alliance, myself included, so we decided to try it. When we went back to Horde, I then had some real life stuff come up and went through a divorce. So at that time, the guild was given to an officer. Uh, Tran, I think you were even away from Discord and everything else at this time, so you, the details may be fuzzy for you as well. But there was a lot of drama between some officers. Two sets of officers split. Left the last dynasty basically in ashes. I don't think there was any active players. Two new guilds were made, and that was basically the end of the last dynasty for a
Like,
year.
yeah,
Yeah,
like a year. And then I came back. I was like, yeah, not gonna have this shit.
yeah. Well, it and honestly, from there, I was out for what 2 years. I think I don't think I really started playing until here recently. I mean, I went through a divorce. I was playing a little bit during that time, and then I met my current wife. And I didn't really play much because we were busy building our life together, and then had a kid. So, busy, busy. I'm just
Right.
now back. So, when you came back, what was the guild like?
Honestly, well, somebody corrected me in chat. Yeah, there was still one person still around, which was Dark Corker. He was still quite active. I have no idea why. But
Hey,
yeah,
when
being
you're
active.
loyal,
But honestly, like 1 or 2 people was still in the guild, and then from there, I just started working on rebuilding it. And then that was like the second generation of the last dynasty. Was from there.
but as I understand it, unfortunately, the second generation didn't last too long either, did it?
We well, we stopped shortly after BFA launched because BFA was not that fun.
Hmm.
I think
Still isn't.
right after we got tired of Old Deer. After we got tired of Old Deer, the guild kind of just died, and then I didn't exactly take a WoW break. I took a retail break, played Classic for a long time,
Right.
came back to retail, and now we're here.
Yeah. So, so you came back to retail, started rebuilding, and you had a very good base, and then I think that's about when I came back. We all know you get that wow itch every now and then. So I came back for a while, played. You made me an officer, then co GM. Then I'm taking a hiatus, as you will, now, waiting for Shadowlands because BFA's just not very good. And so you made Ramp co GM and made me co owner of the community itself. Uh, man, you, you, man, if I can talk, all the other officers that have been longtime officers have put a lot of work into this. It
For
looks
sure.
amazing. I myself am extremely happy to be here. I'm extremely happy to be in the position in the community that I am, kind of owning it slash running it side by side with you, and ramp for that matter on the guild. Because let's be honest, right now, retail WoW is basically where the majority of our community is.
Yeah.
That being said, why don't you maybe discuss your push into classic WoW a little bit?
So it's actually something I've always wanted to do ever since Classic was actually announced when I was still playing retail. Was I always thought like, what if we pushed into Classic, started raiding and like Blackwing Lair and Entourage and Extremis. Obviously, the first part of that never happened, but the plan sort of was pushed aside as the retail guild started growing and started needing more attention and focus to it. But recently, there's honestly a 99% chance that Burning Crusade is going to be re-released on the classic, and so I decided, hey, what if we got the classic guild ready for a Burning Crusade release? Because without a doubt, classic is gonna just be
Yeah,
so popular
yeah.
when the Burning Crusade comes out. Well, if the Burning Crusade comes out, but I honestly believe that it's going to be coming out. But that's pretty much what our goal is for our classic guild, is to get prepared, become active, ready for Burning Crusade. Hoping to maybe get an Extremis down in the next coming months, but not trying to promise anything there. But I know some guildies have expressed an interest in running Extremis on the classic side.
Oh yeah, yeah. So where is the Classic Guild right now? Do you know about how many members you have? Have you started looking for a raid leader? Because you obviously don't want a raid lead. That's never been
Um,
really your thing.
yeah, we've actually just broke 300 members.
Oh,
Uh, yeah, a couple days ago. It's growing every day. We've got some magnificent moderators that are actually actively getting more people in the guild, making it more of an active place. So it's looking really good. It's starting to get into a really good place. But in terms of raid leader, haven't exactly looked for anything yet. But that's definitely something that is going to be addressed going into the future at some point. But I just don't know when exactly I'm going to start that.
yeah. No, I understand that. I mean, we all know the first step is getting the guild foot in the door, if you will, and then work on the other aspects later. Just kind of behind the scenes questions here for the Classic Guild. Uh, I mean, about how many moderators do you expect? And what would the moderators' jobs be? And stuff like that. If a casual player in the guild has any questions, can they go to a moderator? Just basic stuff. That way, people know.
So the main experience that we're trying to give people in the classic guild is majority just a casual social experience.
Yeah.
So therefore, we're not focusing on having many officers. We're instead trying to get moderators to fit that position into the guild, mostly just for making sure that all of the community guidelines are being followed. That's mostly what a moderator's job in that guild is to do. But I'm looking at hopefully maybe about 6 or 7 going forward. We have 3 right now, I think. Yeah, we have 3 right now, but that's just what it's looking like right now
Yeah.
over Classic.
No, that's a good start. I mean, obviously, you're juggling many hats. Before we get into the retail stuff, excuse me, as we talked at the top of the show, you have been also pushing into ESO, and was curious how that's going. Have you made a guild there? Have you gotten a footprint at all? Do we have any members over there? I myself have not downloaded ESO or checked. So just kind of give the community an idea of what's going on the Elder Scrolls Online side, if anybody doesn't know what ESO is.
So before that, I figured I needed to correct myself on the previous segment. I guess there's only two moderators and myself, the GM. So I was corrected in chat.
Seriously, what would we do without chat?
So okay, so for ESO, yeah, we've actually begun. We've created our guild. We have a couple members. We're not exactly an active force on ESO as of yet, but that is what I want to eventually become, just to have a whole another MMO experience to offer people in our community. Um, right now, I've got quite a lot on our plate right now in terms of expansion. So ESO kind of is not a main priority of our community currently. Depending on if we have enough people that want to express interest, its priority will rise up a little
Right.
more.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm trying to focus on getting classic and retail solidified. But I mean, the ESO guild's created. If you're interested, what is the guild name on ESO? Uh, the Last Dynasty. You can just get with me on Discord, and I can we can set you up some invites to anyone that's interested in that. But it's currently, like I said, not exactly an active force in ESO right now, but hopefully later in the current expansion we can be a
Yeah.
little more active.
And on top of that, just because ESO, we do also have a Steam. Believe it, they're called communities on Steam.
Yeah,
If
your community, something like
yeah,
that.
if interested, holler at myself, Dan Tran. We're just gonna go with Tran, or Monsley in Discord. It's very small right now. We haven't been pushing it, obviously, because of other things. But if interested in ESO, getting in that Steam community will definitely make things a little easier. That being said, I we are also pushing into Star Wars: The Old Republic. Monsley is doing that. I don't believe he has currently made a guild yet. He is working on actually leveling his character up and learning the game a little bit more. But for the future, those of you Star Wars fans, that will be coming. All
Exciting
that
stuff.
being said, let's move on with the retail guild.
The
Um,
meat and potatoes.
where do you see that going, and what are your plans? For the future. Obviously, right now it's booming. Even at the end of an expansion, it's very active. Obviously, I believe pre-patch probably has brought a lot of activity back, but
Yeah,
there is a lot of activity. I know raids and the more serious PvP has been put on hold until expansion because a lot of people get burnout, man. The end of expansions are kind of boring. Repeated content. Um, but I do know you do contests. You got raffles, got a transmog contest. For anybody watching, here's an example of Ramp. He won the transmog contest. Since he is co-GM, he has decided to give away some of the gold prize to the runner-ups, which is awesome. We don't want anybody to believe that he won just because he's co-GM. But that's a picture of his transmog. It looks amazing. It was a Halloween-themed transmog competition, I believe. Yeah,
yep.
and it looks really good. So, do you
That was
have
cool.
any other major contests or plans for the retail guild going forward?
So currently, well, man, you asked a lot of questions there. We need to talk about the retail guild. So I'm trying to, let's see. Let me just adjust everything that you asked. So
Perfect.
long-term goal going forward for the retail guild, I just want to say I'm not going to spoil it now, but I do have some really exciting plans for late Shadowlands that later sometime on maybe a later episode I would like to release. I think I kind of mentioned it to you once
Yeah, yeah.
what I wanted to
We've
do.
talked about it.
Yeah, but it's definitely something that I'm really excited to hopefully. So let's just say, well, get our name on the map, our brand on the map. But so what else was there? You did ask a lot
I did.
there.
I like to talk. You have any other big contests planned, later this expansion or around the release of Shadowlands?
So okay, also I want to address chat as well. So major PvP has been kind of put on hold. However, we still are doing our weekly PvP events every Thursday. I know Ari and Sky, they're both watching, and I know they love to do PvP with the guild. They're always down to help you learn. They're always looking for people to run regular BGs with them. So just throwing that one out there right there. So events, I know we do. Yeah, we actually do have something coming up for Christmas. We're having a guild Christmas party in game, which is kind of an interesting thing where we're gonna have a secret Santa, which we're gonna have more information on Discord about that. We're gonna have a couple raffles. We're gonna have some other prizes. We're gonna have races. We're gonna have a lot of really cool, interesting stuff going on around Christmas for the guild. But that's pretty much what we're looking at right now in terms of contests and stuff. Other than that, we do our weekly raffles where we give out pets, mounts, bags, and sometimes even a lot of gold, as we did last night. But that's pretty much what's going on now. But we do plan on definitely establishing ourselves really well on Thrall on Shadowlands. Going to really get into the competitive atmosphere.
Oh yeah, and obviously most of us have been around for more than one expansion. The start of an expansion, servers boom, people are there. So as Tran said, we're still doing things. The guild as a whole, we are trying to expand on, as well as expanding on the community. The ways that we have explained with ESO, Star Wars: The Old Republic, now these podcasts. Um, we have the guild Facebook. We are always active on. Thank you, Orlaith or Jackie, for everything you do there. But you and I have talked behind the scenes that we are also maybe going to start posting a lot of stuff on the guild Facebook page as well as the group.
Yeah, I just began thinking about maybe reestablishing that page as a force in the guild. I don't. I have to play with it still. That's still just an experiment I want to do, but maybe be on the lookout for that.
Cool. Well, I don't have any more questions. Is there anything else, guild or community wise, you would like to touch on?
Not on the top of my head, I just do want to let everybody know if you're not in the community and you're interested in joining us, we do have our Discord, our Facebook, and our Steam all linked onto our Twitch account. If you want to go check us out, we're active on most of the platforms and we're really trying to establish ourselves. So we appreciate any support you'd like to give us.
Yeah, absolutely. Discord is at least one of the channels has always got something in it, whether
Yeah.
it be the community chat or just memes. Um, that being said, I think this is going to wrap up most of the episode. We are going to try to do one every week. Be on the lookout for the Discord chat, as well as the Facebook page. We do plan on doing them every week, Sunday at 10 a.m. If things change, again, we work full time jobs. I'm a father. Tim's a father. Dan's Dan. He's a father of a community. Um, if things change, we will post them there. Also, that being said, those of you watching, please subscribe. Go to our YouTube page, like and subscribe. Also, check out Nerd Outbreak's Facebook page and YouTube page, and like and follow. Uh, we will be doing a lot with Tim, I hope, as well as I think, will be continuing to do stuff on Nerd Outbreak. So, all the love we can show over there, as well as here, the better. So, again, like, subscribe on Twitch as well as YouTube. If you haven't joined the Facebook group, join the Facebook group, join Discord. I know I'm working on getting a shirt made that has all the links on it. So when I'm on stream, next week we will be starting our ESO or excuse me, Elder Scrolls series ending at Elder Scrolls Online. It'll definitely be a multi-part uh, or a multi-episode series because we'll be starting off, I think, every episode with kind of any major news we've heard, as well as what games we've been playing, just to keep you guys involved with what we're doing outside of the podcast. Uh, Plus, give you a little bit of insight on maybe some games you've never played. So, that being said, if anybody has any questions or suggestions for the podcast, please DM us on Discord, send an email to the guild email, which I believe is the Last Dynasty Guild at gmail.com. Any feedback works wonderfully.
We appreciate all of it, yes. Thanks.
Absolutely, because these hopefully are just as fun for you guys as they are us. That being said, I'm going to play the outro. You guys have a good weekend. And again, thank you to the veterans.